What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Trady back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. And over the past few weeks, Ja, he's kind of caught my eye a little bit. As sure, the Grizzlies are the second seed in the West, and they got a 21-13 record. But the Grizzlies, I've been hearing a lot of people say that the Grizzlies has been a little bit cocky, especially Ja, because they've been doing a lot of trash talking lately. And Ja, we obviously saw his interview with Malika Andrews, and I'm gonna let him take it away.
Around the league as you're studying and say, we're gonna have to run through them.
Celtics.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
Ja said it himself, he's fine in the West. And the only team that he's worried about is the Celtics. Not the Bucks, but the Celtics. And granted, the Celtics are an amazing team. Best record in the NBA. But Ja said he's not worried about anybody in the West. And look, I know the West has been banged up lately, but come postseason time, they might be 100%. And to be honest, the Grizzlies are 8-8 against Western Conference teams. Like, I'm not joking. Go look it up. And in their last 3 Western Conference games, they lost to the Nuggets without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. They also lost to the Golden State Warriors on Christmas without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And then they lost to the Phoenix Suns, yes, the fraud Phoenix Suns, without Devin Booker. And granted, they won against the Toronto Raptors, but that's the Eastern Conference team, and the Raptors are not even that good anyways. But Ja Morant said it himself. He's not worried about any team in the Western Conference. But in the last 3 games, he lost to a Western Conference team. And those 3 Western Conference teams weren't even 100% for real. And now it came to me making this video. Is Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies being a little bit too cocky? And are they championship contenders? But before I get started with this video, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. The link is about down below in the description box. Also follow me on Twitter as well. And without further ado, let's talk about some Memphis Grizzlies basketball. Now look, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're having an kind of a up and down year, but they're having a great year, by the way. They're 21-13, second in the Western Conference. And Ja Morant, he's playing like an all-star right now, as Ja this season is averaging 27 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's doing it on 45% shooting from the field, 33% from 3, and 74% at the free throw line. And it gives him a true shooting percentage of 54.5. And at the rim, Ja Morant is shooting 64% at the rim, which is expected because Ja Morant, he's that nigga. But Ja Morant, though, he's just having an amazing year, and I hope he can finish as a top 5 MVP candidate. I'm not saying he's top 5 right now because there's other players that are playing better than him. But if Ja Morant can keep up this elite level of play, he can end up as an MVP candidate. But that's besides the point. But Ja and the Memphis Grizzlies, not gonna lie, they've been doing a lot of talking lately. Like, for real. As Ja Morant, like I said, he's not worried about any team in the Western Conference. And to be honest, the Western Conference, like I said, they're really banged up right now because the Los Angeles Lakers, well, the Lakers are kind of trash right now. But the Lakers, they don't got Anthony Davis. He's going to be out indefinitely with a foot injury. The Warriors are missing Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, their best and second best player. And I'm not going to say the Phoenix Suns because we all know they're frauds. But and also the Denver Nuggets, they miss MPJ and Jamal Murray in some games. Let's not forget about them neither. And the Pelicans, they've been missing Brandon Ingram. So yeah, the Western Conference, they haven't been that healthy like that. But the Memphis Grizzlies, they've been dealing with injuries too. Let's be real. Desmond Bane only played 16 games this year. He's been out with that foot injury. Jaren Jackson Jr. missed the beginning of the year with a foot injury as well. And he's only played 18 games this year. So I don't want to hear nothing about injuries. But the Memphis Grizzlies are also dealing with injuries as well. And Ja missed some games as well, and the Grizzlies are still winning. So injuries, to be honest, are not really an excuse. It's a part of the game. Everybody gets injured. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they've been dealing with injuries most of all. And they're still a top team in the Western Conference. But the Memphis Grizzlies, though, do I think they're championship favorites? Well, not yet. But I'm going to give it about 5 to 6 years maybe. And then they'll probably be legit championship favorites, because this team do be struggling with injuries a little bit. Let's not forget Dillon Brooks missed majority of the year last year. And Ja Morant, he also missed some games last year as well. Jaren Jackson Jr. missed some games this year. Desmond Bane. So yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies, they've been having some health problems as well. So it's not just all the teams in the Western Conference. And also forgot to mention the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi and PG, well, expected because they're both injury-prone players. They haven't been 100% this year neither. So every team in the Western Conference has dealt with injuries. So yeah, I don't want to hear an injury excuse. But besides the point, do I think that Ja Morant was being a little bit too cocky about the Western Conference, saying he's not worried about it? Well, maybe just a little bit. But I think I kind of like Ja's confidence here, because he think that he can lead this team to a championship. And I believe he can, because with a superstar talent like him, there's no reason for him to lead this team to a championship. Better yet, get to the NBA Finals, because he has all the credentials. He's an MVP caliber player. He could potentially become a superstar. Like, for real, if Ja could keep up this elite play. So for all the people saying Ja, he's not him, and he's being a little bit too cocky, yeah, please, let's cut that out. Ja Morant believed that he could lead this team to a championship. I'm not saying he could trash talk no team or nothing, because we all know how that will go. Devin Booker tried to do that shit to Luka, and guess what happened to him? Man's got blown out by 50 points. So I don't want the same thing to happen to Ja neither, because Ja, he's one of my favorite players in the league. And I hope he can have a successful career, and he could potentially become a Hall of Famer one day. But the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a young, imbalanced team with a lot of potential. Like, they got a real stacked roster. They got a future superstar in Ja Morant. They got a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Jaren Jackson Jr. And granted, Jaren Jackson Jr. do be getting a lot of foul trouble. Yeah, you thought I forgot about that. And when it comes postseason time, that man is going to be fouling like hell. He did it last year against the Timberwolves. I believe he had like more fouls than points in game 1, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. need to cut down on the fouls a little bit. Dillon Brooks, he's also a great defender for them, because we all know Ja Morant on defense, he is really not that good, because Ja Morant, he's one of the bottom 10 defenders in this league. Like, for real. That's the reason why the Grizzlies were looking like the 96 Bulls without him last year, because Ja Morant's defense is a negative. Sure, Ja Morant's good at like rotations and stuff, but one-on-one, and he be ball watching a little bit. So yeah, that's why they got guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., Dillon Brooks, Brandon Clark. All 3 of those guys are great defenders, and they can help Ja out. Every time when he gets exploited, there's Dillon Brooks, who's there to pick up, and Jaren Jackson Jr. to protect the rim. Also Brandon Clark as well. And I can't forget about my man's Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is a real underrated player on this team. Like, dead ass. People do not talk about his impact that he brings on his team, because I believe he's like the best guard scorer off the bench. Well, debatable, but he's a real underrated scorer. Like, for real. Every time when like Ja misses some games, he be stepping up big time. And let's not forget about Desmond Bane, one of the best shooters in the league. Sure, Desmond Bane hasn't been 100% this year, but now he's back, and see if he can get back where he left off, because Desmond Bane, he was on a roll lately before he got hurt. But he was averaging like 25 points a game, and now he's averaging 22 points a game. And he put up a really bad performance against the Golden State Warriors. But I'm going to cut him some slack a little bit. He just came back. And also shout out to Taylor Jenkins, he's been doing a hell of a job as a head coach. And ever since he got with the Memphis Grizzlies, he's turned that team all the way around. Like, for real. Ever since they got rid of David Fizdale, yeah, that didn't work at all. And when they brought in Taylor Jenkins, he's been doing a great job with this team. And I hope he can lead this team to the success we think that we can lead them to. And this is the topic of my video. Are the Memphis Grizzlies contenders or pretenders? Now look, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a really great team with a lot of championship bound. But do I think they're contenders this year? Maybe not, because there's other teams in the Western Conference, like I said, that are more bound to win a championship more than them or get to the finals. And like I said, I'm going to give the Grizzlies a couple more years, but I don't want the Grizzlies to end up like the Phoenix Suns, absolute frauds. They trash talk and they can't find a way to back it up. And I'm somewhat agree with some points that the analysts be saying. The Grizzlies, they need to cut down trash talk just a little bit, because we know how that will go. It goes horribly wrong, especially if you meet the wrong team in the postseason. If y'all meet the Mavericks in the postseason, trash talking Luka and shit, just like how the Suns did, yeah, it's over. Or if y'all trash talk the Warriors, yeah, it's over. Hell, even if y'all trash talk the Denver Nuggets, we all know Jokic ain't going down like that. He's the back-to-back MVP for a reason. So the Memphis Grizzlies, I think they're being a little cocky, but it's confidence as well. And Ja Morant is confident that he could lead this team to a championship. So the Grizzlies, they're future contenders, but as of right now, they're not really contenders like that. I'm going to give them like 2 more years, and they'll be legit contenders. Like, for real, everybody can get better on that team. Everybody. Let's not count out Dylan Brooks. Let's not count out Desmond Bane. Let's not count out Jaren Jackson Jr. They all got potential. Like, for real, they even show it. They're showing it right now. And Ja Morant showing that he can become a superstar in this league. One of the faces in this league, alongside guys like Luka, Zion, Trae Young, everybody. And I think Ja Morant should have his name placed with the other guys that I just named as the face of the NBA. So yeah, I don't think the Grizzlies are over-exaggerating. I think they're being confident. And do I got confidence in them too? Hell yeah. Because with a roster like this, there's no reason for them not to get to the finals at least. So for all the people saying the Grizzlies are frauds, yeah, let's cut all that out. Let's cut all that out. We know this team can win a championship. But if they don't win a championship, hey, y'all prove me wrong. But that concludes this video. What y'all think? Hit that subscribe button down below. This your boy Lil Trady signing out. Happy New Year. Peace.